Louisiana beer reviews. Southern Tier's 2X IPA or double IPA. 8.2% alcohol. This particular bottle of beer was born on April 24th, 2013. I bought this at Mathern's Supermarket on Bluebonnet Boulevard in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. They don't give the number for the IBUs, they just say it's medium to high bitterness. Oh well. 3 malt varieties, 4 hop varieties, that's all they say. Introduced in 2010, it gets an outstanding score on Beer Advocate. Bros haven't tried it. 97 out of 100 on Rate Beer, 81 out of 100 for the style. And a most excellent score on the Beer and Me. I have drank this beer exactly 0 times in my life. So let's check it out. Okay. I see lots of smoke. I see the sun, but it's slightly obscured by haze. It was very rainy the last week, last 5 days, so the sun is just starting to try to peek out through those clouds. Let's see. Medium white head, and the appearance is, well, from the sun shining through, it's like a brilliant yellow, blinding yellow, but from that direction it's gold, and you can see it. You might be able to see the bubble stream. There's a center bubble stream. It's clear, there's no haze or anything. It's a little more yellowish than a typical IPA, I think. A lot of them are orange, but you know, overall it's just a pale ale. Okay, in the style of India. Doubled. Alright. Now, a couple of days ago I had the Rampant double IPA from New Belgium, and that was a harsh beer, and I liked it, but I can see why people would hate it. I mean, I had comments and on Facebook, people telling me, "Oh, how could you like that? That's horrible." So let's see how this is compared to that. This from New York. Well, it's very sweet, and it's very citrusy and fruity, more fruity than the New Belgium. And the aroma is like the New Belgium was like hop oil, and this is more like flowers and citrus fruit and brightness. The other one was like a dungeon. This one's like a bright mountainside or hillside. Let's go with the flavor. Now the sun is strong. I'm blinded by the light. There's bitterness, of course, but it's not this hoppy, oily, and like someone just said, fleshy, which I thought was an interesting description. Like the Rampant. This is like just like a fruity, juicy hoppiness, bitterness, citrusy. There's an underlying sugary breadiness, but it's underlying. It's not prominent. What you're really getting, hold on a second. There is a background grain husk, though. Oh well. That's not always the greatest flavor. Let's go with the mouthfeel. It's medium bodied, for sure. Medium to heavy, really. It's got a thick kind of, I don't want to say slimy. Let's use the term oily mouthfeel. Not as oil slick as the Rampant. I guess I'm comparing it to the Rampant because I just had it 2 days ago and it's still in my mind. The cold. They said a cool front was coming, sort of like hanging around. We're right on the edge, and I can feel that drier air from, August is when you first, in Louisiana, you first start getting the little cool fronts. And up north, I know they're all watching baseball games, already wearing jackets and whatnot. I mean, we'll get cool, and in other words, it'll only get to 91 here, okay? But the dryness in the air is a pleasant change from the 5 straight months of humidity. We get lots of humidity here. The dry weather is rare. Okay, back to the beer and off of the meteorology. I still think Torpedo beats the fool out of all of these. And Torpedo, I don't think, it's not the high alcohol. The more I drank the Rampant, and this is rare, the more I drank it, the less I liked it. It's like I started with an A- and it started dropping. Usually beers go up for me. But to be fair, I only had one. This one here is, it's not super exciting. I guess that's the term. It's just kind of like, meh. Here I am. I'm bitter. I have some fruitiness, and that's about it. I don't know why they would say a 97. There goes the clouds. At least I'm not blinded. It's sort of one-dimensional in a way. Just like bitter fruit, bitter grapefruit, which I like. Trying to be fair with it, not to be picky. I think some beer reviewers, they just look for something to criticize, almost like they feel like if they like too many things, people will say they're not a good reviewer. I'll be the first one to admit that most stuff I try I like, and I probably score too easy. But what am I supposed to do if I like stuff? I'm not going to sit there and say it's bad. I do like this, okay? I'm enjoying it, and I would highly recommend it. If you ever see it, get it. I mean, this was only what, like $1.50 for the bottle for a single. Yeah, it was like $1.53, and then there was a 10% discount, so it was less than that. But I'm going to still give it an A- just because it's not right. I was thinking about this the other day. It's like, seems like there's two types of beers. There's the dark side and the bright side. Excuse me, can't say it's not carbonated. And what I mean by that is, like, seems like beers in general, and I'm always thinking about these things, they're either on the dark and I don't mean dark in the dark beer sense. I mean, they're like compacted, that the taste does not present. Let me use the other description. And then you have the bright beers. The bright beers are like, they're bursting with flavor, they're bursting with light, they're bursting with fun, boldness, and they're just like, when you drink them, it's like, it's like Van Halen first album, Then you have the other side. Those beers are like slow, and they're downbeat, and they don't burst. They sort of like a snail crawling inside a shell. They're like Black Sabbath's first album. It's like you drink them and it's like, bom, 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 bom. Although that's the second album, Paranoid. But anyway, you know what I mean, that early sound. And then you got the bright beers. I don't know, it's a bad description. It's like an esoteric, metaphysical description, but that's the way I feel about it. And there's a lot of cheap beers even that have that bright surf board, you know, flying high again. Feeling it's just like you drank them and you're like, you know, it's exciting and it's bright like the sun. And then the other ones, and this one kind of tends toward the cloudy day, the dark, down in the cellar type nature. I don't know. I shouldn't even have brought that up because people are going to think, man's going crazy. I haven't gone crazy. It's just that I'm thinking about those two main. It's sort of like, and the same thing with music. You got two types of, you know, rock and roll music. You got the subdued under the blanket, and then you got the soaring stuff. And that's the way I look at it. Anyway, getting off of the speculative, esoteric, conceptualized thinking of beer, and back to the bread and butter review. It's excellent to an extent, and I'll give it an A-. I don't know what else to say about it. If you see it, buy it and try it. And I'm going to end this review by laissez le bon temps rouler, let the good times roll. It is a nice one, and I'm not trying to beat up on it. And heck, if I give it an A-, you can't say it's bad. And I'm going to end this review by saying, y'all come on down to southeastern Louisiana.